All right.
The
Back
synchronized clap.
Back at it again. Full-time movie fans, welcome back.
We're here.
I'm your host, Jarvis. Daniel, a.k.a. Jarvis. Just call me Jarvis. It's my host.
Jarvis.
You introduce
Michael, a.k.a. Jarvis.
Michael, a.k.a. Jarvis. Number 2. Yeah, so I think this one I'm really excited for. This is a movie that I've liked a lot. I don't think that... And you'd never seen it, which shocked me.
Yeah. Also, the first movie that we've watched together for this.
Yeah, that's true. I'd seen this movie many, many times.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess we should start doing this. Spoilers if you haven't seen it. I don't think we really give a spoiler warning. Well, this is an older movie.
I really feel like if somebody's watching a podcast about movies, they should go in with the anticipation that they're gonna.
Some
get
people
spoiled.
don't. Some people like to just watch the review or the
this.
thing and not watch the movie first. I don't know.
This is for the people and the editor, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you can just cut this out, save it for literally every other time. Hey, full-time movie fans, just so you know, we're treading some harsh waters every single time we go into one of these. If you've not seen the movie, you need to. Otherwise, you will know everything about the movie going into it. This is not a spoiler safe zone.
Yeah. And you know what? Here's the thing. I also want to say too first is that like, I mean, everybody's different, right? And there's different levels of movie fans.
Yeah.
I think we, the name of the show is Full-Time Movie Fans.
Yeah.
I love movies. I love watching movies. Someone says, hey, let's go watch a movie. I'm like, okay, down almost 100% of the time.
Yeah.
I would say I'm an above average movie going person. There are some people that are, and full-time, there's a spectrum within full-time, right? Full-time at a job, 40 hours. Some would say 30 hours.
Anywhere between,
hours.
legally 30 to 40 hours is full.
Yeah, so some people are 30-hour full-time fans. I'm a 40-hour.
That's I
feel like you're above hour. You do some OT.
Like 10 to 15 movies a week. Yeah.
Yeah. You do you're OT. My buddy Clint, again, hopefully I think I mentioned him at least once an episode. Hopefully he'll be on at some point, but he does massive overtime. I think the most that movies he's seen new movies. Yeah. Not just ones that he's seen before.
Yeah, he keeps up.
Like I think he did 65 or 70 movies one year. So that's actually kind of crazy.
That's pretty
good. So he's a full-time movie fan plus. Yeah. But there's some people who you go maybe I don't know, once every couple of months or something like that. So I don't know where this movie falls. I think it's just a great movie. I think everybody should see it. But there are definitely some movies that we talk about that not everybody is gonna like. Mm-hmm. You might be one of those people, but again, I'm a full-time movie fan. I love movies. You're a full-time movie fan. You love movies in a different, deeper way than I do. But I enjoy.
Yeah, my time with movies is ironically rarely spent watching them. It's more so that, I will take a movie and I'll watch it. Right, it's hour, half, 2 hours, sometimes 3 hours of my time. Yeah. Then afterwards, it's 7, 8, 9 hours of just digging into the process.
Yeah. So that being said, dude, this is one of my favorite. I actually really, really love this movie. If you haven't seen it, you need to go watch it right now. I know there's one person I've been, you know who you are. I've been telling you to watch this movie, and I think you're getting there. Hopefully, by the time this comes out and gets published, you've seen it already. But
otherwise, why are you watching this?
Yeah, if not, then I guess you just watch it.
When I speak, you need to pay attention.
You'll see what we think about it in the review and whatever. But it's Training Day. Yeah, Denzel Washington. Yeah, I don't think we've done a movie yet with Denzel Washington in it, or Ethan Hawke.
I'll just break the ice right now. Can't believe Denzel dies at the end.
Oh my gosh.
There we go. See, now
that's the.
If you don't like that, maybe watch the movie first. All right. So now that we've gotten the warning and the actual danger out of the way.
Well, see now. Here's the thing. You got to finish the review to know whether he was making a joke about.
That's also true. Yeah,
because
that's also true.
Maybe he's telling the truth. I don't know. You got to watch through the whole thing.
Rest in peace.
Movie. Okay, so if you ask me, Denzel. I mean, when I think of top caliber actors, I think Denzel. I'm sure there are other actors before my time. They're just oh man, this guy. But Denzel to me, most of the movie projects that he picks. I mean, no actor I think has a quote unquote perfect filmography, but like Denzel, like his acting is top tier, and most of the movies that I watch with him in them, I enjoy on a higher level than most.
That's very good.
So
I mean, we're talking about, just for other people's references, we're talking like Fences, Book of Eli,
good one.
Roman J. Israel Esquire,
Yep.
Magnificent Seven.
Who didn't so the director of this movie, Antoine Fuqua, didn't he also do Magnificent Seven? I think he did. With Denzel and Ethan Hawke. Ethan Hawke was also
Yeah, he
that
directed it, but the writer for that one was Akira Kurosawa, which anybody who knows that name, it's Seven Samurai.
Oh, so I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's so also very good. Definitely go see that too.
I mean, I think of movies. I think Antoine Fuqua also did The Equalizer with Denzel. And Equalizer 2. I love those movies. I loved in the same vein. Denzel also was in Man on Fire, which Michael, you and I have talked about this.
Yeah,
we've talked specifically, like if you like the movie Taken, Man on Fire is, in my opinion, a much better version of Taken.
Yeah,
with what's his name? How am I blanking on his name?
I promise you, we do watch movies.
We do. You know what? When it comes to recording, it's just one of those brain farts things that happen. But anyways, so Training Day, dude. I know I was hyping this up. You hadn't seen it. One of the things I want to mention right off the bat, besides Ethan Hawke, Denzel Washington, is this whole movie takes place in the span of a day. And
that's fun.
Even when you were watching, you were just like,
yeah, it's
bro. It's like this. It's like a whole like. I feel like a whole year's worth of experience.
Yeah, he basically had
one day.
We saw them basically have what, three meals, two meals, 2 naps. Went across town, went back across town.
Yeah,
went back across town again.
Yeah.
Had a couple of shootouts.
At least a few.
Stopped a couple of thugs.
Well, yeah. Let's walk through it. So like it opens up with Ethan Hawke, and I've watched I've watched interviews with Ethan Hawke. He talks about this. He's just like, dude, working with Denzel is like something else, and so it's just, he says it was just like such a great experience to like work with. Watch Denzel work. Obviously, Antoine Fuqua has done a lot of work with Denzel.
Oh yeah,
but I mean, I can only imagine the kind of energy that he brings and the presence he just brings to a movie set. You know what I'm saying? But Ethan Hawke is also fantastic actor, dude. He's done so many things, and like I don't even like horror movies, but I watched Sinister. I was like, oh my gosh, this movie's fantastic. Ethan Hawke's amazing. And so Ethan Hawke, the movie opens up his day at, was it like 6 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah,
his alarm goes off,
something like that.
And his wife's already up feeding their newborn baby.
Yeah,
he's a cop. He's wants to progress in his career. He has a wife. Just had their first kid. Mm-hmm. So he's very ambitious, I think. So obviously he gets a call. So he's actually, I mean, the movie's called Training Day. So basically he's going to be training with Denzel Washington's character.
Yeah, to be a narc.
Yes, to work in the narcotics unit. And he wants to make detective. And, just to have a career.
Yeah.
So... I mean, the presence is immediately known. Like once he gets to, so they meet at a diner at 10 o'clock. So that to me is when the clock starts on the day, right?
Oh yeah,
because he's officially training.
Yeah.
10 o'clock, they're at a diner, Alonzo is Denzel's character's name.
Yes.
Alonzo is reading newspaper, and you immediately know that this guy does not give 2 fucks about you, or like he's about his own business, and like like you're just a side character in his world. Like he's reading his newspaper, and of course, Jake Hoyt.
Yeah, Jake Hoyt
is Ethan Hawke's character, and he sits down at the table and Lonzo offers him to get some food. He's like, oh, and he's like,
no, I already ate.
He's like, all right, well,
great,
no need. And he's reading his newspaper, and Jake's he doesn't know what to expect. He's just sitting there in silence, so he tries to talk to him.
Yeah.
And immediately Alonzo's like, okay, look, man, I'm trying to read my newspaper here.
Yeah.
So tell me a story, entertain me, because this is my entertainment for the moment.
Yeah.
And immediately he lets him know, like, hey, man,
you are not interesting.
yeah, exactly. And so he already puts, obviously, I think that's intentional on Lonzo's part. To assert his dominance. And like, I'm in charge.
Yeah.
You do what I say and make sure that he knows the pecking order. What was your, because we watched it together, like we said, but what was your first thoughts about just that scene, that whole scene in the diner?
Oh, the whole thing can basically be summed up with the, go ahead and get yourself something to eat. Oh, no, it's okay. I already ate breakfast. Actually, yeah, you know what? I'll get myself. Nope, you fucked that one up.
Yep.
That's the best way to sum up that whole interaction.
Yeah, and then from there...
it's basically that over and over and over.
It is.
For the rest of the movie.
That is a very good point. It's that over and over and over through the whole movie. It starts off small.
And it always gets bigger.
The next
and bigger.
time, it's a much bigger emotional experience, and it's a much bigger, even the stakes.
Yeah.
At different points in the movie. That's actually a very good point you make there, because I think after that, the first thing they do is they go to one of his informants' spots where he deals.
Yeah.
Just a guy that Alonzo could bust but doesn't, because he feeds him information on the streets.
Yeah.
And so a young kid, they see a deal go down, and they go to purposely harass the people that bought it.
Mm-hmm. Just to show them.
I mean, they scare the crap out of them. They're young kids, like college age, I think.
Yeah.
They take their money, they take the drugs, and that is to be used later for buying drugs later. They take the money. And one thing that Alonzo does, and again, when you watch these things, at the end it all adds up. But
it does.
He makes he does talk to Jake about his wife, right? And then Jake, the young cop, he just starts to get, hey man, don't talk about my wife like that. You know what I mean? Don't talk about my wife.
Yeah.
And Alonzo, I mean, watching it, you're like, dude, he makes good points. Throughout the whole movie, you're just like, oh, he stepped over the line, and you're like, oh, wait a minute, actually, that kind of makes sense.
That's for a reason, yeah.
I get it. Like, and so he definitely gets Jake when he says, hey, you need to bury that. Your love for your wife, he said, look, when you're out here with these guys, they don't care. If they find out that you have a weak spot, they will extort it and they will use it. He said, take off your wedding ring. And he said, and you need to not be that sensitive when it comes to those types of things. It makes tons of sense. I get that.
Yeah.
I get that. The next thing he does is he
makes some smoked PCP.
Yeah, which explain that scene. Explain how that goes down, because it's actually really crazy. So they're going through like an intersection. He just stops in the middle of the intersection.
Stops in the middle of the intersection. He tells Hoyt to smoke the pipe, which he thought was just weed.
Yeah. Well, he kind of presented it as
he did present it like it was just weed. And Alonzo is being like kind of jokingly pushy up to the point where Jake's like, no, I'm not gonna, this is a test, and I'm also a good cop, so I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah.
And Alonzo puts a gun up to his head and he goes, smoke it.
Yeah.
And you kind of, as the watcher, you kind of get the impression of like, this is probably something that's happened to Alonzo with somebody else, to the point where he's like trying to teach this newbie a lesson, right?
Yeah.
Which after Hoyt smokes it, we learned that no, that's actually never happened to Alonzo. He just bullied the new guy into smoking what he thought was weed, which actually was PCP. Which is a whole other conversation they had, like 2 scenes later, when he was like, "When's the last time you smoked?" And he was like, "I smoked weed in college." And Alonzo goes, "Oh no, in high school." In high school, and Alonzo goes, "I didn't know you liked the hard stuff. That was PCP." And this like, oh shit.
Yeah, then he realizes, like, he's like, oh my gosh, I'm going to get drug tested later. It's going to show up in my blood work. I'm going to get fired.
Yeah.
And he starts freaking out, which makes sense.
Yeah.
It's in line. The thing about Jake Hoyt is he's a very much straight and
Very
narrow, very by the book kind of guy.
Mm-hmm. His goal isn't to be a narcotics officer. His goal is to be a detective.
Right. Yes. His goal is to make detective, have a career, and one of the ways to do that is by working for Alonzo. He has a good reputation. He's put a lot of criminals away, according to his own speech that he gives to him later on. But one of the things that Jake says is like, no, I don't. Like, I'm a cop to get drugs off the street.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
And Alonzo, again, makes a very valid point.
It does.
Is that if you are trying to get the source of these drug dealers, and so you're undercover,
you have to instill trust.
And someone offers you some drugs to take, and you say, "Oh no, bro, sorry," they're gonna be like, "Is this a cop?
Yep.
Are you a cop?"
Yep.
And like,
which also shows very early on, because they go to one of the bad neighborhoods. He has Hoyt roll down the window and
using the money that they took from the kids earlier.
Yeah, and
Alonzo tells Jake to like.
Yeah, he rolls down the window and goes, "I'd like $20 of cocaine."
Yeah,
and it's Snoop Dogg.
Yeah,
Snoop Dogg's character's like, "Nah, you're a fucking cop."
He really looks over at Alonzo, and he's who's kind of just lighting a cigarette, kind of looking away, and he's like, "Smells like bacon up in here."
Yeah,
and he's like, "I ain't stupid." He rolls around,
and rolls off.
Alonzo's just like, "Well, go get him," and he's like, "Oh my gosh." And so, and here's dude. One of the things that I love so much about this is such a small detail, is that throughout this whole movie, you're going to hear one word about Jake a lot, and it's rookie.
Yeah, rookie.
You're a rookie. And like,
he's green, he's wet.
I think by the end of it, it just kind of wears. And like, I remember when they do that fake warrant, he was like, "Come on, give me a break." Like, everybody's calling him a rookie. But yeah, so they use the money from the first or the second, I guess, scene where they're together. To buy this crack, to get information from this guy. Again, they don't arrest him, which Jake is also very upset about. He's like, why aren't we...
Like, each of these people...
Why aren't we arresting these guys? Why didn't we arrest those kids? Why didn't we arrest that?
And Alonzo's like, you want to sit down and do all the paperwork? Do you really think that that's going to do better for everybody?
Yeah, his mindset is very much, look, we don't get, the little goldfish, okay? We're looking for the big catches here. We're not trying to catch these small time guys. Like, the small time guys we keep alive so they can lead us to the big guys.
Yeah.
And that's what even Snoop Dogg's character was. He's like, I need you to tell me about this guy. Where is he? Like, who's the big name out there right now?
Yeah.
And so again, it's as Jake goes by, he also you're experiencing it the same as Jake is. You're like, okay, that seems a little extreme, but it makes sense in the real world. Like, when he's doing his thing, it's like, okay, I get it, makes sense. But man, it's this constant thing every different. I mean, seem like hour with Alonzo and Jake, right? That Jake is just he has to face what he believes is right versus what is functionally right. Like, what does it take to actually complete the goal? It may not be in the book. It may not be in the the code or what his training was,
Yeah.
And I think because I think that scene is the next scene, also very important to later on in the movie. I think because I think it is before or it's after Snoop, right? Where they're going and then Jake's looking out the window, or is that before Snoop? Hey, full-time movie fans, thanks for hanging out with us. Hope you had a good time. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave a comment. We want to hang out and discuss the movie with you. So don't forget to do that below. Have a good one. I hope your day is everything you dreamed it'd be and more.